Good afternoon. Good afternoon, and welcome to the pre-diabetes and exercise webinar. Before I get into my presentation, let me just share a story. Several months ago, I went to dinner with some family members who are diabetic. The restaurant that we went to had many different entrees you can purchase. Some of the family members ordered smothered chicken, smothered pork chops, fried chicken, regular pork chops, catfish, grilled fish. There were so many different types of entrees you can get. One of the things I noticed was that many of them, in addition, ordered mac and cheese, candy yams, mashed potatoes, rice. Many of those items break down into carbohydrates that break down into sugar, which then will increase your blood sugar levels. On the other hand, I had the catfish, I then had cabbage, corn, and I had a salad. So I shared all that because one of the things I noticed was that they, at the table, pulled out their EpiPen and gave themselves an insulin shot at the table. And they knew that it was going to increase their blood sugar, but they were relying on the insulin to help lower their blood sugar. So I said all of that just to say that we have to begin to take control of our health and be active in our activities, change our eating, and we'll be better off for it. So at this point, I'll go ahead and share my screen, and I'll go into the presentation that I have for you today. Okay, once again, this is the pre-diabetes and exercise webinar. And once again, diabetes is a disease that affects how your body uses blood sugar, or what is known as glucose. Glucose is vital to your health because it's an important source of energy for the cells that make up your muscles and tissues. It also your brain's main source of fuel. This was very interesting to me. The CDC, the Center for Disease Control, says that there are 34.2 million people in the United States that have diabetes. And then 88 million people aged 18 or older have pre-diabetes. And that's the category that I fit in because I'm in the pre-diabetic stage. But then again, there's so many individuals that don't even know that they're diabetic because they don't go to the doctor, they don't have an annual physical every year. Which I would recommend to everyone who's on this webinar that you do set up an appointment and go every year, at least every year, and have the doctor pull your labs, your blood work. So this way you'll be better prepared to know how to deal with certain issues. So once again, it's my goal to encourage you to take control of your health and share how I overcame my struggles with pre-diabetes by increasing my exercise. And then again, in my mind, I'm saying I really haven't overcome it yet because it's an active part every day. I have to be active in my exercise. I have to make sure that I am eating right and not doing overeating and eating too many carbs in a day. So that's something I just want you guys to take hold if you can, that you got to take control of your health, go to the doctor, and then set up a plan for how you can overcome the issues that you're facing. So what is prediabetes? Prediabetes is a serious health condition where blood sugar levels are higher than normal, but not high enough to be diagnosed as type 2. So once again, as I shared, I'm in that category. And I'm going to show you a chart a little bit later in the presentation was very insightful. It gave me an idea of where I was on the chart, whether I was normal, in the dangerous zone, or was my blood sugar optimal. What is diabetes? Diabetes is a chronic, long-lasting health condition that affects how your body turns food into energy. Most of the food you eat is broken down into sugar, also called glucose. And as I mentioned earlier about my family members, that food that they were eating, the mac and cheese, the mashed potatoes, all that breaks down into sugar. And that sugar is then released into your bloodstream. When your blood sugar goes up, it signals your pancreas to release insulin. And at the table, my family members were giving themselves insulin because they're not producing, their body's not producing the insulin in an effective manner. So this insulin acts like a key to let your blood sugar into your body cells for use as energy. If you have diabetes, your body either doesn't make enough insulin or can't use the insulin it makes as well as it should. If too much blood sugar stays into your blood system, then over time, it can cause some serious health problems like heart disease, kidney failure, and vision loss. And that's one of the things I'll touch on with the vision, because there are times that I have gotten blurry vision. So I'm very conscious of what I eat and how much I'm eating of certain foods. There are certain symptoms. Once again, I just want to encourage everyone, definitely set a time with your doctor, at your yearly physical. If you're seeing any of these type of symptoms, you want to definitely set a time to meet with them to share. But some of the symptoms are urinate, you pee a lot, often at night, are very thirsty. There's some people who lose weight without trying. That's not the majority of us. Some are very hungry, have blurred vision, have numb and tingling hands or feet. That's something you really want to definitely take sight of. I know I've had the numb and tingling hands and feet. There are days that I felt very tired, have very dry skin. I know, once again, if you're in tune with your body will not lie. If there's something going on with your body, you will definitely know. It will definitely let you know there's some issues. Also, symptoms of diabetes, have sores that heal slowly, or you may have more infections than usual. Type 1 diabetes is thought to be caused by an immune reaction. The body attacks itself by mistake. Risk factors for type 1 diabetes are not as clear as for prediabetes and type 2 diabetes, but known risk factors include family history, having a parent or brother or sister with type 1. You can get type 1 at any age, but more likely to develop when you're a child, teen, or an adult. Type 2, you're at risk if you have prediabetes, are overweight, 45 years or older, or physically active less than 3 times a week. Prediabetes, once again, impacts 88 million adults. Your risk for developing prediabetes if you're overweight are African American, Hispanic, Latino, American Indian, or Alaska Native. Some Pacific Islanders and Asian Americans are also at high risk. Once again, 45 years of age or older, I'm over 45, are physically active less than 3 times a week. And then you have what is known as gestational diabetes, which women get when they become pregnant. They develop this type of diabetes when they do get pregnant. What is the purpose of insulin? Insulin is a hormone that comes from a gland situated behind and below the stomach called the pancreas. The pancreas secretes insulin into the bloodstream. The insulin circulates, enabling sugars to enter the blood cells. Then insulin will lower the amount of sugar in your blood system. As your blood sugar levels drop, so does the secretion of insulin from your pancreas. So that's an important piece there. The insulin that is that's secreted by your pancreas helps in lowering diabetes. But in some individuals, it may not be producing as much that is needed. I remember when I was younger, I had no issues with prediabetes as young because I was very active. But as I got older, you get into your working world, you eat more and you have less activity. So now these things start to develop later in life. What is glucose? Glucose is a sugar that is a source of energy for your cells that make up muscles and other tissues. Glucose comes from two major sources, food and your liver. Sugar is absorbed into the bloodstream where it enters cells with the help of insulin. So that insulin, once again, is very important. Your liver stores and makes glucose. When your glucose levels are low, such as when you haven't eaten in a while, the liver breaks down stored glycogen into glucose to keep your glucose levels within a normal range. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's a chart. This chart was eye-opening to me as I was going through this journey. Your doctors will, a week or two prior, you have to go get some labs done. And one of the tests that they will take is the A1C. This is the hemoglobin A1C. It measures your average blood sugars over the past 2 to 3 months. I know for me, I'm getting ready to come up on my annual physical in February. So 2 to 3 months back, this test is able to determine what is your levels in that. So when I first started this journey, if you notice, the pre-diabetes section is in 6.3 in the yellow. You want to focus on the yellow. There's a 6.3, and then you see a 134. That's where I was. So when I do my blood sugar, that's saying my average is 134. Over the 2-3 months, my blood sugar average was 134. So that equates to a 6.3. And that's what is reported to the doctors and on the report, 6.3. As you can see, the higher, if you get into the red is danger, danger, danger. Stay away from that. So that's why it's very important that you keep a focus on this. My goal is to eventually get down to the green, the normal level. As of July, and I'll share this with you on the next couple of slides eventually, July of last year, I was at a 5.8. But once again, I added a tremendous amount of exercise, walking, bike riding, and things of nature. So it can be done. You can achieve lower blood sugar if you just focus on the changing your eating and adding a lot of exercise. So I went from a 6.3 to 5.8. So I'm looking to be in the green on February 25th when I go back for my annual physical. And once again, improving lifestyles, sleeping patterns, eating habits, what and how much you eat. Like I said, you don't need 5 different types of starches, carbohydrates. You may just need just the mac and cheese. You don't need candy yams and everything else with it. And then proper fitness guidance is helpful in maintaining a healthy blood sugar level as well. Here's some of the complications that really opened my eyes. Cardiovascular disease, nerve damage, kidney damage, eye damage, foot damage. The 3 that I'm really keeping an eye on: nerve damage, neuropathy. Excess sugars can injure the walls of your blood vessels and that nourish your nerves. In your legs, this can cause tingling, numbness, burning, or pain that begins at the tips of your fingers. So these are things you have to be in tune with your body. Eye damage, once again, retinopathy, as I talked about, the blurred vision and things of that nature. Diabetes can damage the blood vessels of the retina, leading to blindness. Diabetes can also it increases the risk of other serious vision conditions such as cataracts and glaucoma. And then foot damage, once again, that tingling of the feet, thus that sign could be a sign of nerve damage. Poor blood flow can increase complications. You can lead to infections, cuts, blisters. And these infections can ultimately require toe, foot, or leg amputation. And just hearing that was like, no, I need to do better. So, but there are complications with it if you don't get control of it. And that's what my doctor was trying to tell me earlier, that, hey, if you don't get control of it, it could lead to definitely complications. Prevention, touched on it, eating healthy foods, choose foods lower in fat, calories, high in fiber, focus on fruits, vegetables, whole grains, strive for a variety to prevent boredom, get more physical activity. And that's the main thing I can tell you, it does work. Aim for about 30 minutes of moderate aerobic activity on most days of the week, or at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity a week. Losing pounds, excess pounds. If you're overweight, losing even 7% of your body weight, for example, 14 pounds, if you weigh 200, can reduce the risk of diabetes. If you're pre-diabetic and can lose this weight, you will lower your risk of developing diabetes by 58%. So the effect physical activity has on your blood sugar will vary depending on how long you are active and how many other factors. Physical activity can lower your blood sugar up to 24 hours or more after your workout by making your body more sensitive to insulin. So I'll get ready to share with you that I increased my activity 100-fold because I love to walk. But there was a period of time where I could not walk because I had a bad knee. So I just had my knee replaced in December of 2019. So I really upped my game in that area of physical activity. Also, I just want to bring, you can also get out there an activity conversion chart. Some of you may not like walking or riding a stationary bike, but this chart really helps to understand it. It's your time spent equates to equals a mile or steps. It is my goal for me that I try to do 10,000 steps a day. But when you look at this, say for aerobics, low impact, by doing 16 minutes of aerobics, low impact, that equates to 1 mile or 2,000 steps. Bicycling leisurely, 20 minutes is 1 mile or 2,000 steps. Just imagine if you do an hour, how many steps does that equate to? So this chart is just helping you to break down some exercises, some activities that you are doing, that you can do, that would help you get an idea of the number of steps that you can put in. Jump rope, slow, 11 minutes, that equates to 2,000 steps. So swimming, if you don't like riding a bike or walking, you can do swimming. And say swimming, treading water for 41 minutes equates to 1 mile or 2,000 steps. So this was helpful for me, but when I'm at home, the tough part you'll find that I found that the winter months, the winter months you can't really get out because it's cold. So what I ended up doing was purchasing a little stationary bike from Walmart, $99. So I keep my activity up. I keep riding a stationary bike to keep it up, because otherwise, if I don't keep that up, my blood sugars will still begin to rise again, and I don't want that. So I just wanted you to see that this chart, because this chart is has been helpful for me, and I'm sure will be something helpful for you. So what is my story? Okay. 2016, the doctor told me that I would be a diabetic in 5 years if I did not get my blood sugar under control. 2016, we're now 2022, but 5 years will be 2021 for me. I was 230 pounds at that doctor's visit. The doctor prescribed me to take metformin, so I was taking metformin from 2016 all the way through 2021. The funny thing is that I didn't change my eating, so I too was also relying on this metformin, this drug, to help with my blood sugar. I did some exercise. Like I said, back then my knee was giving me issues, so I really didn't do a lot. My A1C, as I shared earlier, was 6.3, and I was at the age, in 2016, I was at the age of 52. And I talked about knee issues. I had the bone-on-bone situation, which was causing a lot of pain, climbing stairs, walking. I just had that issue. So let's take a look at my next slide here. So I mentioned in February 2023. Now, just keep in mind from December of 2019 to February 23, I went through my knee surgery. I got a knee replacement. So it took about 2 years to recover. So by the time February 23rd came around, I was 215. So I did lose some pounds during that time. I was 215. I spoke with my doctor. I consulted with my doctor, and I said, "Look, I'm tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of seeing my A1C at 6.3. I want to stop taking the metformin, and I'm going to change everything I do." And I changed my eating, fish, chicken. I began limiting the amount of carbs intakes. I began eating salads, nuts. I began looking at the on the back of the package, the serving size and things, and what was their carb, how many carbs are in each of those. I began looking at all of that because I was at a point where, like I said, I was sick and tired, and I wanted to make these changes tremendously. I began walking extensively. Now in 2021, I'm now 57. Now I'm making these changes. And then in July of 2021, I was down to 189 pounds. My A1C was at 5.8. So once again, I know with the change in eating, and then I really went bonkers when it came to the number of miles walked, and I have it listed here. But I still continue to eat the fish, continue to eat chicken, salads, nuts. Miles walked from February 23rd to July 18th, 2021. I walked 390 miles. And here's the thing. What I ended up doing, I was going on Saturday mornings. There were times I didn't feel like getting up, but I got up on Saturday mornings at 7, went to the trail and walked 10, 15 miles. And then walk the trail down, walk it back. And I was doing that pretty much every Saturday. And the other thing I would think, if you're married and you listen to my sound of my voice today, if you're married, why not you and your wife get out and walk, or your significant other? You can get out and walk together. So that's what we did. I would get off work at 3. Wife and I would go start walking at 4. So I would walk there, and then I would walk on Saturdays. And even at work, if you have the opportunity, if you're able to go into the building, I know we're in the midst of COVID, but in my building, we can walk around the building inside. And so I would do that on my breaks. I would do it on my lunches. So that's important too. So there are several things you can do. When it came to my changing my food and eating, my wife she's on board. And when she goes out and shops for food, she looks at the packages and makes sure that I'm taken care of, that I'm not eating anything that's going to cause me high sugar, my sugar to go up. But don't get me wrong, I do like certain foods. I do like pizza, but I had to cut that back. I do like coconut cookies, but I had to cut some of that back. I just can't eat a lot of it, So, but anyway, I just wanted to share that. But then from July to November, I walked 573.64 miles. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing what my numbers are on February 25th. Now, you may be wondering, well, what have you done since November 3rd to now? I've been on the bike. I have logged 213 miles on the bike. Once again, I'm trying to keep it going on that. So it's a great opportunity for you, if you listen to this webinar, that you can make the changes that are necessary in your health. And there are so many resources that are out there, but you just got to go and search and pull them up, read them. And here are some of those that that you can definitely read up and check into, that are very helpful. One of the things, the AstraZeneca one talks about starting a walking program. That's huge for type 2. But there's everyday, the one that says everydayhealth.com, 10,000 steps. There's so many resources out there that would help you. The activity chart, the A1C chart, you can definitely look at that to make you more aware of what's how you can improve your blood sugar on a day-to-day basis. But you got to be focused on, you got to be in tune with your health, as I shared earlier. Your body will tell you when something is wrong. But definitely, one other thing I just want to say, definitely meet with your doctor at least once a year, and then have them do that blood work and so on and so forth. But that ends my presentation. I would recommend that if you have any further questions for me, make your way to the vendor hall and click on the Wellness Ask the Expert, and I'll be there to answer any questions that you may have. I hope you have a great day, and take control of your health. Take care. Bye-bye.